Hello, my name is Eddie Tofpik. I'm Head of Technical Analysis and Senior Markets Analyst at ADM Investor Services International Limited. And here is your weekly technical analysis of Paris Rapeseed, Winnipeg Canola and Malaysian palm oil markets. I'll start with Paris Rapeseed. Okay, as I said 4 weeks ago here, two things are to note. I've mentioned this before quite a few times now. If we set aside the island bottom in June, then we have an ascending triangle formed from March to mid-August, of which we've seen a breakout over the upper trend line, currently at 570.5, 7 weeks ago. This had a provisional target X in the 617.5 area, which was a big ask at the time, but which came true last week. The second pattern was to look at the action since April this time, exclusive again of the island bottom, as a possible bull channel. This pattern had a provisional target X1 in the 614.75 area, which also came true last day. That's what I left you with last 3 times or so that I've spoken. Since then, specifically 2 weeks ago, prices have broken higher. This break higher gave me a chance to tidy up some of the now surplus projected Fibonacci lines, such that we were left last week with only one, the 100% projected Fibonacci line at 643.75. This 100% projected Fibonacci line was reached this week, on Tuesday. By now you can see that I was starting to run out of potential targets on the top side. Anyway, as part of this tidy up which I did, it also revealed another separate rising wedge pattern, which I spoke about already. This one originated from the June high and low, with the upper trend line currently at 590.25. The highest trend line actually on the daily chart, and the lower trend line being the uptrend, interestingly, started at the island bottom. This upper trend line is a definite 2-pointer, at the very least, and with some finessing a 3-pointer. The lower trend line, currently at 584 even, is a definite 4-pointer. So you can see from this pedigree that this looked like a very good pattern. Thus, we had a break higher on Tuesday 2 weeks ago with initial target X2 in the 656 area, which I outlined 2 weeks ago, which was another big ask, but which was achieved on Tuesday this week. Thus, I have a situation here where apparently no patterns are showing. Well, showing to me immediately. We've gone through all of them. However, there is one pattern still left. It is the one constructed over the last 3 weeks. It looks like an acute bull channel, but is actually a gradually widening out as time goes by and begins to look more like a megaphone. This pattern is an ascending, broadening wedge, and it's currently between 642.5 and 674.75 today. However, what will happen if this pattern is broken? Well, I cannot give a number as yet, as this will depend on the level at which it is broken, but I can give an idea based on just the size and shape of it. But just for today, a break upwards would be about €56 on top of the value of the upper trend line when it is broken. A break downwards would be about €65 off of the value of the lower trend line when it was broken. The only other two things I'd add is, firstly, don't force the break. If it stays within a pattern, then just let it stay there. And second is, beware of false breaks. Winnipeg Canola. There are, as I've previously said here, two patterns showing, both having run to fruition, and both seemingly not as yet showing a sign of which would be the more dominant. We have a descending triangle from early July and a sideways triangle also from July. The upper trend line for both is the same, the May to date downtrend currently broken and currently at 868.40, of which the market has now broken higher seemingly convincingly. Now for the descending triangle, we have a base on the congestion between 819 to 819.40. Now I have to add something here now. Since I first started to look at this idea, I had been underwhelmed. I'm not happy about this pattern, would rather call it a smaller descending triangle from mid-August with the same downtrend for ease of use and on a base of the 840 area. Anyway, the second pattern, the sideways triangle, has, or should I say had, an uptrend breached 3 weeks ago, currently at 894.70. However, this breach has been an odd one, as prices initially continued more or less sideways, then started to move along the underside of the trend line, and this week have moved up onto the top side of the trend line and higher still. Okay, so last week I gave some levels on the upside. These are still valid. For the new smaller descending triangle, we have an initial potential target topside X2 in the 930.80 area, and a secondary target X3 in the 946.5 area. For the ragged sideways triangle, we have an initial potential target X4 in the 968 level, and a secondary target X5 at the high of the market in the 1008 area. To be honest, I am not in love with any of these three patterns I've indicated, but of the three right now, the smaller descending triangle with an upside target in the 930 area seems to be the most likely. Additionally, it is worth remembering that secondary targets are extremely hard to fulfill anywhere. Just keep that in mind. Bursa Malaysia palm oil. First off, please continue to try and ignore the color changes in the labels on the daily chart. There is no special significance to them, it is just my charting system playing silly buggers again. Anyway, 3 weeks ago we had a gapping move down through the short medium moving average, currently 44.93. The medium moving average, currently 42.42, and finally stopping short of testing down to the congestion supports seen between 410 and 39.53, which had emerged from within the rising long moving average, currently at 40.66. This halt and reversal back up with a gap set the stage for the start of another move. A move I had intimated weeks beforehand. You see, the move up from the low to the high 2 weeks ago gave us a weekly key reversal up for that week. Additionally, the move up, the follow-on higher last week, especially the gapping moves higher, gave us a rare monthly key reversal up here in September as well. So why are these so anticipated and important in my eyes, other than on their own as standout patterns? Well, it's because a little while ago I laid out a scenario for a potentially very, very large bullish pattern. It is to look at the whole of the May to date action, including the sideways weeks over August and September, as an extended V bottom. Now, this pattern is not that common, but it does seem to have some heavy merit here at this time, and by heavy I mean some really heavy merit. So to give an idea of the potential for the move higher, let's look to the action since the low of July and up to the high in August as the size of the potential move that may happen. Thus it could be quite large, and it could still also be a simple bull flag stroke bullish halfway hesitation pattern. However, if it is in the larger extended V pattern, then it will have the backing of not just the June action, but all the action since May. That's quite a lot, quite a lot. An initial idea of the action being just a large bull flag bullish halfway hesitation, well, that gives a potential target X in the 53.75 area, way above the top of the current market, and a very, very big ask. There's even a bigger secondary target for this pattern in the 55.25 area, but I'm not going to go into that too much at this point until we see prices approaching target X. Now, one final thing. The bullish Andrews pitchfork for the 2021 action, especially the middle time, currently at 48.51, still seems to be the main bullish incentive here. My drawing of this bullish Andrews pitchfork so many weeks ago had been a bit of speculation on my part at the time, but it is still maintaining its validity and prominent bullishness. I'll leave it there for now. Maybe next week things may become a little bit more clearer. Thank you for listening. This weekly broadcast gives essential market patterns and consequences. Please be aware of the risk disclaimer posted with this broadcast. Copyright is Tofpik and ADM Investor Services International Limited. And here comes the final bit.